Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Anna Vanila Arts. I am Anna Vanila. Welcome to subscribe and watch my patterns, watch everything else that I share with you. Everything that I do, I share with you. I draw, I paint, I knit, I crochet, I do knotting, all sorts of things, creative things I do. I tell you from my experience. Maybe you don't know certain things, you may know because of my channel, visiting my channel. So hopefully I can be useful for you. My channel can be useful for you where even if you're a beginner, you can just learn new things and select new things for yourself, and my tutorials to help you do things a bit better, for example. So this is a hat that we need. In this video we do a stretch band. At the moment 74 loops are on my needles number 5, and this is how I do it. I do the stretch band in a way that even if you wash your hat many times, it will not going to stretch too much, it will not going to lose its shape. So that's how I'm doing it. So the first loop we never ever need, we just grab it with a right needle. So we need purl stitch, and then a second loop we grab it like so from behind, like this. So it becomes as a loop that you do not need on the front, you need it only at the back with a purl stitch. But with the front you just grab it like so. So purl stitch, front stitch, grab by the loop, purl stitch, front stitch, and this is the first row that we do. So on. Now we need the second row. The second row is very simple. You need what you see. So you see a purl stitch, you need a purl stitch. You see a front stitch, you need a front stitch. Like so. I see a purl stitch, I need a purl stitch, front stitch, purl stitch, front stitch, purl stitch. And this is how we need the whole row. One purl stitch, one front stitch, and so on. And we need like so 5 centimeters of a head, a stretchy 5 centimeters long. This is how it all looks. The pattern for this hat is very easy to do. I'm going to tell you now how I've actually made it. So we need first loop, we never ever need, we just grab and put it on the first right needle. First stitch, purl stitch, then 1 front stitch, yarn over the needle, 2 front stitches, and 3 together with a front stitch. 1, 2 front stitches, yarn over, front stitch, and purl stitch. Now we need again 1 front stitch, yarn over the needle like so, 2 front stitches, and 3 together with a front stitch. 2 front stitches, yarn over the needle, front stitch, purl stitch. And this is how we continue the pattern by the end of this row. So first front stitch, yarn over the needle, 2 front stitches, 3 together with a front stitch, 2 front stitches, yarn over the needle, front stitch, purl stitch, and we repeat this over and over again. Until the end of this row. Now this is how it looks at the back of the hat, and all we need to do is knit how the loops are looking at us. So front stitch is here, so we need front stitch, we need purl stitch. The yarn overs we also knit with a purl stitch, and we knit how we see the loops on this second row. So we see the front stitch, we see the purl stitches here. And until the end of this row we do the same. So we are doing now the third row. First one we never knit, then a purl stitch, 2 front stitches, yarn over the needle, 1 front stitch, 3 together with a front stitch, 1 front stitch, yarn over the needle, 2 front stitches, purl stitch, 2 front stitches, yarn over the needle, front stitch, 3 together with a front stitch, yarn over the needle, and 2 front stitches, purl stitch, front stitches, 2 front stitches, yarn over the needle, 1 front stitch, 3 front stitches together, 1 front stitch over the needle, yarn over the needle, and 2 front stitches, purl stitch, and that's how we continue this row. This is the 3rd row. This is the 4th row. Again, we are on the back of a hat, and we knit the loops just the way they look at us. So if it's a purl stitch, we need the purl stitch. If it's a front stitch, we need the front stitch, and all yarn overs we knit with a purl stitch. And this is how we knit until the end of this row. And so on. Now we are doing 5th row of this pattern. So first loop we never ever knit. We knit purl stitch, 1 purl stitch. We knit 3 front stitches, then yarn over the needle, 3 stitches, 3 loops together with a front stitch, yarn over the needle, and then 1, 2, 3 front stitches, 1 purl stitch, 3 front stitches, yarn over the needle, 3 loops together with a front stitch, yarn over the needle, 1, 2, 3 front stitches, purl, 3 front stitches, yarn over the needle, 3 together with a front stitch, yarn over the needle, 1, 2, 3 front stitches, 1 purl stitch, and we knit the same way until the end of this row. It's easy, as you can see. And now the last and final row is like so. The first one, we just grab it, we never ever knit. We see a front stitch, we knit the front stitch. We see a purl stitch, we knit the purl stitch. We see yarn overs, and we knit them with a purl stitch. And how you see the loops is how you knit them. So you see a purl stitch, you do a purl stitch. You see a front stitch, you do a front stitch. You see yarn overs, you knit it with a purl stitch to get open work to your head's design. And then we knit everything from the first row to the sixth row, exactly how I've explained to you, and you will achieve such a pattern, a beautiful pattern for the hat that we are doing. So good luck, and see you with a finished item, finished accessory for the hair, for the head, which is a hat. See you. Hello everyone again. This is a finished project. As you can see, it's a very lovely, intriguing pattern, intriguing hat with a stretch band here nicely done, like I have explained to you. The pattern itself is fantastic. As you can see, is open work pattern, slightly as it goes around. It's a bit like little leaves or twigs, maybe, yeah, maybe even a Christmas tree looking like pattern, but it's definitely very good hat to wear it in summer. It's made of acrylic yarn with tiny little bit of sparkle. The color is fantastic, is sort of beige, in between beige and pinkish color, I would say. It's fantastic. It's I think it turned out to be very successful looking. I hope you like it, and I hope you can do a hat similar to this one, or even better. Why not? Why not? This is at the top how it turned out to be. It's almost like a star here, and I've made a stitch, carefully done stitch at the back here, through the center here at the back, with this neon green needle, which I love so much. It's actually made of plastic, but it's very good for knitting, for sewing with yarn, thicker yarns, as you can place in here quite nicely. And this is how it looks when you turn inside out. You can see I've hidden all the odds and ends, threads, yarn that was left over from when knitting this pattern, this hat. I think this hat could be even autumnal, it could be spring hat, it could be summer hat, it can be anything you like, really. It should keep you warm, it should keep you cool. It's slightly semi-transparent. You can see this yarn overs look a bit like open work pattern here. It's very gentle looking, very feminine. I think it can be a good hat to knit even for children. I think it's fantastic. I love it. The yarn is successful, chosen successfully. the yarn itself is not just acrylic, but I didn't even use much yarn, so a lot of yarn was left over. This is definitely less than 100 grams of yarn, so it doesn't use a lot of, this pattern doesn't use a lot of yarn, as you can see. And I hope you like it enough to make one for yourself and enjoy wearing it and receiving compliments for wearing such a unique piece in your wardrobe collection of clothes. An accessory like this one would just complement your wardrobe nicely, and it would just look great, I bet. Even when you wear it, it should look fantastic, I think. Yeah. Even if you're blonde, brunette, this should work very nicely, very much, very well. Thank you very much for stopping by on my channel Anna Vanila Arts. I am Anna Vanila, and welcome to my family, and let's knit and do beautiful things like this together. Thank you very much for watching.